What's going on, crypto crew? Sean's going back at you, another cryptocurrency video. Before we get straight into it, take a look at our website, Bitcoin Bros 101. We have this 9-hour trading course. If you're interested in getting more in tune with the charts, trading and more, we have this discount right here. Also, a bundled package here. We have 2 books we created. You can get the 9-hour trading course along with these 2 books at a limited time offer. Getting straight into it, we see this parabolic parabola shape to the upside. So what can we anticipate when Bitcoin gets closer to this? At the current time of this recording, we see Bitcoin coming in at 66.8. We've had a little bit of a cool off on the price action, but we have this parabolic trend that is drawn. And what do we see every time we touch or get close to this trend line? So when we first established this trend line back in November of 22, we had a rally up 103%. And then we had a cool off to retest this trend line to really start this trend. And then next, what do we see for once we bounced off of this level? We had a rally up roughly almost another 100%, 96, almost 97%. So you see, we didn't quite get all the way down to this trend line right here, but we did get a wick down and then a run up before we are seeing a cool off. So this third leg of this parabolic trend line, how much percent gain did we see? We seen almost rough to the upside. So we've seen 100%, then a 96%, then a 91, almost 92% move to the upside. So what's going to happen the next time we get closer to this trend line? Where is the level we want to pay attention to that we don't want to really break based off this trend? So remember, the trend's your friend to the end. And if you look at this impulsive move right here, you have to look at this as one big, long, green candle, just because this is just parabolic to the upside. And we have retracements even in bull markets. So this retracement right now seems to be roughly about a third of this overall macro green bullish candle. A third pullback seems to be the standard. If we look at it here, we'll see the same thing. Let's pull this up to the peak. And then we had that third pullback, third of this overall macro move. So these are healthy retracements. These are things we want to see in the price action. You see we had this retracement, then a run up, and then a brief pullback, then another blast off. And look at, you see the blast off, the retracement, then a run up, another pullback, and then could we be ready for that next leg? So as we showed you, from run up to run up to run up, it went 100%, 96, 97%, then almost 92%. So let's just say this pullback will get maybe closer to this trend line. Could we go lower? Yes, we could. The level we want to pay attention to is probably this level right here. We want to pay attention to the 64 level. Could we wick below it? Yes, but we still want to keep our upwards momentum, our upwards trend. So if we see another massive move to the upside, say the bottom's in already, and say we have another 85 to 90% move to the upside, 85 would take Bitcoin's price up to 123,000, and 90% move would take Bitcoin up to 127,000. So we're one more impulsive wave to break that $100,000 threshold. But eventually, we're going to break this parabolic uptrend. Once we break this parabolic uptrend, what are we going to see? We're going to see the price break through, and then Bitcoin is then going to have some type of macro retracement. So could this be the peak, the bull cycle peak? Potentially give other indicators we pay attention to. Looking at another Bitcoin price chart, what do we see? What do we anticipate? So this is Bitcoin versus the US dollar on the daily. And we see this symmetrical triangle that's playing out. This is a 50% chance to break to the upside, a 50% chance to break to the downside. So Bitcoin could do whatever Bitcoin is going to do. You see the apex is all the way till May. So could we just keep trading in this channel until May before we make a decision to break up or down? That is a possibility as well. So we could see some sideways price action, potentially letting the altcoins catch up. Look at all this space right here. There's a lot of space right now between the 220 moving average, and sometimes Bitcoin needs to cool off. Trading sideways would allow the 200 moving average to get closer to this 20 moving average. So that could be what's in the cards for Bitcoin. But if we break down from this macro uptrend could take us all the way down to the mid 50 range. But if we break up to this, where's the technical target? We see we have this bull flag that's just playing out. So we pull this to where the breakout would be. We would pull it up to here, and this would take us up to roughly that $120,000 range once again. So as long as this bull trend stays intact, we could be seeing $120,000 Bitcoin sooner rather than later. This is on the daily chart. Looking at Bitcoin on the 5-day, what do we see? What do we anticipate? Once again, the trend's your friend to the end. And the 5-day, we had this bullish cross on the 220. The 20's been acting as a pogo stick. Right now, this 20 is all the way down to the mid 50 range. So could we go that low? Potentially, or could Bitcoin just trade sideways? The RSI is still in an uptrend, as you see from all the way back June of 2022. We've been putting in higher lows and lower highs. We've just been stair-stepping our way up. So could we come back down lower? That's a possibility. We could come down into the mid 60 range on the RSI before we have that potential last leg up. We want to be looking for a bearish divergence in this RSI. And right now, the RSI is still putting in higher highs along with the price. So we have more room to the upside. Taking a look at the 2-day. The 2-day looks similar as well. And right now, this retracement just kissed the 20. So could we get that bounce off of this 20? And is this the fourth leg going to pull back even farther down to that mid 50 range to allow this, have this potential reset? Right now, as you see, we came up, put in a higher low, came up, put in a higher high, put in a higher low. Could we go lower? Potentially. We have to be patient, but all in all, we're still in a bull market, so be ready for anything to the upside or downside. Any more pullback is going to be a buying opportunity, not financial advice. Looking at the Pi cycle top indicator, what do we see? We see that if we zoom in right here, we see that Bitcoin actually retested this 350 daily moving average, got rejected, tried to get back above it again, got rejected again. Is a third time going to be a charm? Well, looking back in the charts, every time we tested this and got rejected, when was the all-time high? We tested again in January of 17 before we really got up to the upside. That was about a year apart. Because you got to look at the distance between these two moving averages, the 111 daily moving average and the 350 daily moving average. There's quite a lot of distance here, not as much up here. So we could be equivalent to right here back in 2016. This was roughly a year before the all-time high. Look at the first time we touched it back in 2020. This was in December. 5 months later, we seen that peak. So we just touched it. Are we going to see a peak sooner rather than later? We'll keep you updated on this chart as things progress. The CBBI is showing an 80 rating for confidence that we're at the peak. And if we look down at this chart, this is something you want to pay attention to because we had some red dots print. Every time we seen red dots print, what happened? Shortly thereafter, the dark red dots printed. This was December of 2020. By March, we were seeing red dots print. So this is definitely a bullish signal. And we've seen a red dot in November 2017. Then the next few months, we've seen a peak. Every single time we see somewhat of a blow-off peak. This cycle had a double peak. That's because there wasn't that much money in the overall crypto market capitalization, so it was more volatile. Will we see that? We're not 100% certain, but we definitely could be seeing that price shock over the next few months. And with that, I'm Sean with the Bitcoin Bros. If you guys like this content, go ahead and smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and show us some love. We appreciate the support. With that, that's all I have for you today, and I'm out.